What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Shout out to the House of the Dragon. Here we are, sitting at about $392 now on this, the 21st of May. Looking at what we've done over the past week, we really haven't done too much. We've just kind of consolidated and moved sideways, but we're setting up, you guys. We are setting up for that next phase higher. If we're looking at this with all of our indicators, damn, I didn't know we had all of them pulled up here. That's okay. Daily MACD is crossed down, but you're probably not going to push down too much lower, right? If we look at this histogram, lately this has kind of been the maximum of what we've seen, right? If we put a line right here on the histogram, you tend to find support right through here, support back here. Only in the more bearish times do we see stronger readings. I certainly don't think we're in a bearish time, right? Bearish times, the oscillators are below the zero. Here, our oscillators are well above the zero. So I think that we're in bullish times here, finding support at prior areas of resistance and just configuring ourselves ready to move up for that next phase higher. Looking at the stochastics, we might go a little bit lower. Oftentimes with the stochastics, you don't stop. Like, you wouldn't stop right here. You would get into the oversold zone and then move up. So don't take it personally if Bitcoin Cash does move sideways for another like couple of days or so, or a few days or so, right? Bitcoin or the rest of crypto might move up, but Bitcoin Cash still, and when I say the rest of crypto, maybe not the rest of crypto, but Bitcoin and some cryptos might move up over the coming days. If Bitcoin Cash is lagging, that's okay, right? We might have a little bit unfinished business to do to the downside, but probably not much, right? We're at 390 now. I doubt that we go below like 380. You know what I mean? Maybe let's say 370. I doubt we go below 370. Hold on. Looking at this on the RSI, being right here at the 50, it does set us up to bounce, but we likely don't, right? We've found support here a couple of times. We're looking to get to that overbought zone, but we just can't seem to do it. We get a little taste, so I think we're going to go a little lower, find support around the 40, 45 area, something like that. Bitcoin Cash does like to find support in this area and resistance as well on the RSI. That's what I'm looking for, a little bit of a push down. Let's see if the 4-hour agrees there. 4-hour RSI does look bearish. Neutral, but with a bearish tilt to it. Price action might suggest that we go lower as well. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame real quick. 1 hour looks, ooh, the 1 hour is neutral. I'm not really getting bearish for now, but will it be bearish enough to push us lower? I mean, I don't know. If today can close at like I would say if we can close below 380 today, that might be enough to get the daily stochastics down to the area that it needs to get down. I mean, the red line, it's not common, but you can see sometimes you do bounce right at the base area of this oversold area, but you rarely, there's not too many times that you reach for this zone and that you turn around. You see what I mean? Like, the blue went deep into there, but the red didn't hit it this time. You didn't get oversold, but we're so close. I would think that you do get oversold. So that would at least imply, if not multiple days of downside, one day where we do close, with a significant downward move. Not too significant, nothing, just significant relatively speaking. So, that was a big day. That was 3%. Maybe a significant day could be 3%. And 3% to the downside should take us below 380. So some kind of move down there would do it. A little bit more down, and then we're going to move up. Let's stop talking about the downside. Let's start talking about the upside, okay? Looking at the weekly time frame now. Weekly MACD, cross bullishly, okay? Very bullish cross here. Building momentum. We're looking for, the reason why it's very bullish is because we are looking to break above the zero line. Whenever you break above the zero line with your oscillators, that oftentimes sets you up for some very bullish recovery, very bullish environment in itself. Same kind of idea with the stochastics now on the weekly time frame as we had on the daily. You don't really get this close to the oversold zone without getting into the oversold zone. You don't really get this close to the overbought zone without getting into the overbought zone. Sometimes it does happen, but from here, I would very much expect that we do continue higher and get overbought. Same thing with the weekly RSI. Overall, this thing looks pretty damn bullish as well. I would expect that Bitcoin Cash is on its way to higher prices. My expectation, not a financial advisor, my expectation is that over the coming weeks, by the end of June, we will find our next kind of top point to stop at for this cycle, right? Early in this cycle, our first stopping point was at about $324, and then we consolidated for a while. Then it was $720, where we've basically consolidated now since March, April of 2024, right? A whole year and some time later, we're ready to break out. I'm expecting this move to be bigger than any move that we've seen so far this cycle. And they've been rather robust moves thus far. From a low to a high, Bitcoin Cash moved up 263% in a matter of weeks. From a low to like 3 weeks. From a low to a high, really most of that happened in 2 weeks. 228%, right? 228, 263. We have kind of a vibe going on here. I think that this move overall from a low to a high will double that vibe. We'll triple that vibe. We'll do astronomically better than what we've seen this cycle. And I think what's going to come along with it, maybe, maybe not, we'll see. I have a strong suspicion that either Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin or both, because they're OG coins that have been around since 2017 or earlier, right? They've been through multiple bull markets, multiple bear markets, and they've been in a multi-cycle consolidation phase. I have a theory that either Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, or both of them will be there. There will be some news over the next month or so of some kind of government backed crypto stockpile, crypto reserve, maybe not in the United States, but in other countries. Because my theory here is that there's going to be other cryptos that other countries are looking to back in their own crypto stockpiles to compete with the United States stockpile, right? The United States stockpile is Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, and Cardano, if I'm not mistaken. Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, and Cardano. I'm pretty sure. Everybody might think instinctively that the rest of the world is going to buy up those 5 coins now because of that. And maybe to a certain degree, yes, but the rest of the world is going to compete. They're going to compete. They're going to try to derive their own crypto stockpile to outperform the United States crypto stockpile, right? All we've done is set the standard. So there's going to be people who are testing the waters for other things. And Bitcoin Cash, whenever it just takes someone with a brain and a set of eyeballs to stumble their way upon Bitcoin Cash and see, oh shit, this thing's at $391 and it's just as good. Hell, it's better than Bitcoin. It's the same, literally the same Genesis block. It's a hard fork. Like, why wouldn't I make a play on this? It could outperform Bitcoin. We're in a multi-cycle consolidation phase. We're about to let loose the goose on, man. I think this thing really has legs to run. And by the end of this next move, by the end of June, early July, I'm expecting that we'll be around this last cycle's high, if not the prior cycle's high, right? So, something higher. But if we're breaking out of this consolidation phase, it would make sense that we see something that's overall larger than the prior 2 moves. Something up at that area would be 315% from here. From the low would be about a 550% move, double. If we saw triple, something like that, going up to our all-time high area, maybe we only get a 8x move or something like that, but still overall would be a lot larger of a move than anything we've seen this cycle. And that's kind of the expectation. I think things are going to get wild over the next 6 weeks, you guys. It's going to be crazy, but time will tell. Looking at this here on the weekly RSI is looking good, right? We're in the same area now that we were back here, looking to break out into the overbought zone as we were here when we were ready to break out into the overbought zone. Here we didn't really stop much. We just kind of moved right on up. Once we get above the 60 on the RSI, that's going to be a good look. That will signal that we're ready to be overbought. And once we're overbought, that's where the magic happens. I'm hoping that Bitcoin Cash gets some consistent readings in the overbought zone, more consistent than last time, something like this, but even more consistent would be nice, more consistent than this, not just a pump and a dump. We want to reside up there, and if we do reside up there, I think that that'll really coincide well with this multi-cycle consolidation breakout, right, which will coincide well with a fantastic pump in correspondence to this kind of dynamic that we've got at play here, right? I think that there's some big shit that's about to happen with BCH, you guys, and it really wouldn't surprise me. BCH, Litecoin, or both of them is announced to be in some kind of strategic stockpile for cryptos from various countries, or at least one country in the world. That's my expectation. Monthly MACD is starting to lose its bearish momentum. We're starting to look like we want to flip that to the green side. That's nice. Monthly stochastics are looking like they're finding a base right here at the oversold area. That's good as well. Likely this would imply that the rest of this year is going to be really good for Bitcoin Cash, you guys. Whenever we got overbought or oversold last time we moved up, we saw a very nice month, 168% in 1 month. And then actually brought on prosperity for months to come. I don't know if we're going to move up 168% this month or next month, but I think overall we'll move up a lot more than that. And so the RSI is looking good as well. I don't mind the RSI. A little bit of a double bottom here in the price, lower lows there, bouncing off of the 40 or just below the 50, kind of this area that you bounced from before. You found resistance here before. I don't mind the RSI. It's neutral, but whatever. I think that we're set up to do good things, right? Especially whenever you look at this range, right? The first 2 times that we interacted with this line, rejection. Now we're dancing with it, right? Whenever we dance, we're probably going to get some follow through and breakthrough. And I would expect this breakout. I think it's going to be fantastic. I keep coming back to it because I think it's something to pay attention to. On the note of things to pay attention to, BCH BTC here, if we're going to Binance, which I believe has more historical data for BCH BTC than Coinbase does, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's got more historical data. If we're looking at this here, BCH to BTC on a monthly time frame, Well, the MACD sucks. The weekly time frame, hold on, I'm sorry. On the stochastics, looking like we are trying to cross up, right? We're oversold now, deep in the oversold area, so hopefully we can get a little lick and move to the upside here. If we do, we'll probably move back up to this 1% area of a Bitcoin or higher. 1% of a Bitcoin, that would make sense, actually, because 1% of a Bitcoin is going to be about $1,600. I could see us doing that. Yeah, we probably do that. That would make a lot of sense, right? With this kind of resistance, backed by that support. Oops, I can't draw a straight line to save my life, you guys. That kind of resistance here, backed by this support back here, I would assume that the next interaction won't be a breakthrough. I mean, it will be, but you might find turbulence there momentarily, consolidate, and then break through to finish out the cycle. But my expectation would be that if that's the case, that's at about 1%. Bitcoin itself will be about $170,000 to $180,000 by the end of this next move. If Bitcoin Cash is going to be 1% of a BTC, that would imply that we're looking at about a $1,600 to $1,700, $1,800 price for Bitcoin Cash. You guys, this is everything. This is exactly what I've been talking about, man. I think that we're literally going to move up to prices that are in line by the end of June, early July. We're going to move up to prices that are in line with last cycle's highs, but we're not going to be at the end of this cycle. Setting us up to consolidate for a little bit of time and then move up by the end of the year, seeing new all-time highs, fantastic new all-time highs. I'm assuming Bitcoin Cash goes up to at least $10,000, if not $13,000, somewhere in that zone by the end of the cycle. I got nothing else for you. I hope you liked the video. This BCH BTC chart, though, I mean, pay attention to it, man. Pay attention to it because I think it's going to provide some help whenever we're at relative areas of resistance. It might not seem like it on the USD pair. Maybe it does seem like it on the USD pair, but whenever using this in congruence with the USD pair, BCH, BTC, this chart can really help dictate when the relative high for BCH will be. If we're looking at this on a weekly time frame, weekly RSI looks like it's ready to go up higher as well, right? Same kind of idea where you've rejected, and now you're consolidating. Different behavior will beget different results. So you're probably going to move up here, moving out of this downtrend that you've been in since July of 2023. Wow, that's crazy. Versus Bitcoin. Stochastics don't look friendly at all, but they're kind of weird, so I'm not too worried about that. And the MACD is wicked right now. Let's see. Looking like it's building momentum, losing momentum a little bit, but you're postured in the right way. We want to get you above the zero line. That could probably happen by the end of June. We'll probably get some real good life there, but not a whole lot to go off of there. Other than the weekly RSI is what I would say. The weekly RSI does look bullish. Daily time frames look ready to move up as well, I will say. They look pretty ready to move up as well. You've got a double bottom here in your RSI or in your price, like finding lows right at this exact same area that you were back here in the RSI, but you have lower lows here. So that's a form of hidden bullish divergence to some degree. If we're looking at this on the MACD, MACD is looking to find support on the zero. We've got some extensive bearish momentum building here. If we can get some green days here pretty soon, maybe not, doesn't have to be today, but sometime soon versus Bitcoin, we look like we're bouncing on our oscillators off of this zero line here, and that could be really good as well. So a little urgency for Bitcoin Cash here over the coming days, but not right now. Like we can afford to move down another day or two, but I would assume sometime by the end of this week, if not certainly by the end of this month, we'll be moving up higher. Once we break above about $500, that's how we know that it's game on, because you're breaking out of this multi-cycle consolidation phase, and we'll be on our way to prices that are likely very much in line with last cycle's highs by the end of June, if not early July. That's the expectation. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.